it's Kelly here from spiritualawakeningsigns.com, coming to you today with a really exciting masterclass. This is how to balance your root chakra and stabilise your energetic foundation so that you can feel safe, secure and most importantly supported in this world. Now that's a big challenge for light workers and people like us who are going through spiritual awakening. We tend to be very connected, we've got all the spiritual stuff worked out, but getting our normal daily life to stay stable and secure, to be in alignment with the universe and be provided for is a bit more challenging, but there's a reason why, and we're going to explain all of that in the video. We've got a lot to cover today, so we're going to talk about what the root chakra actually is and why it's actually the vital foundation for balancing all the other chakras in your systems. This is really vital knowledge for spiritually minded and spiritually awakening beings. Why the root chakra is the secret key to ditching survival issues, scarcity and lack. We want that out of our systems, out of our energy fields. We're going to cover all of that. We'll also talk about how the trauma of your ancestors keep you stuck in survival mode. So how that keeps you stuck in those repetitive patterns and cycles in life that are definitely negative, and how it keeps you out of that higher purpose. We'll also talk about the signs of a desperately imbalanced root chakra so that you'll know for sure if your root chakra is actually imbalanced, and how to balance your root chakra and stabilize those energetic foundations in just 3 easy steps. Not easy to do, but easy if you know how. So we will explain it all for you and you'll know exactly what to do by the end of this video. So the secret to feeling safe, secure and supported in the world is a balanced and grounded root chakra. But unfortunately, spiritually awakened souls like us, we have serious trouble balancing our root chakra and keeping that energy grounded. Instead, what tends to happen is we find ourselves stuck in life patterns of scarcity, uncertainty, instability, lack and struggle. These are the themes that just keep coming up over and over. Now there's a reason why. This isn't just something negative that's happening to you. It's not that you're doing anything wrong at all. I know that we all do our best to live that spiritually aligned life, but sometimes the 3D world can get a little bit chaotic, a little bit overwhelming. And there's a reason why. It's because ancestral traumas are stored within the root chakra. So that includes things like painful histories of war, starvation, natural disasters, and struggling to survive. That is really what the root chakra is all about. It's survival issues, those negative, challenging obstacles that get in the way of living a truly fulfilling and happy life. Worse still than that, that imbalance in that base chakra is so important because it can often mean that if your root chakra is out of alignment, if it's blocked, if it's imbalanced, if it's overactive, whatever's going on with it, if it is out of balance in any way at all, it's going to misalign all the other chakras. They'll follow suit eventually. So what you can end up with is thinking that you've got a chakra imbalance in a different chakra and you can't quite get it cleared. This is usually the root of the problem. It's because it's the root chakra that's the problem. It's not really to do with the other chakras. So this is where you always want to start with your energetic healing. You want to go straight to healing the root chakra. Then you can look clearly at anything else that might be going on in the system. Now that means, unfortunately, that despite our best efforts as light workers, as spiritually minded people, we're going to find it very difficult to create or manifest security, safety, stability in our lives. And the survival issues of the root chakra will unfortunately do the attracting for us. So they're going to draw survival issues, things like I said, like scarcity, lack, hardship, unmet needs. They're going to draw that into your life. And maybe you're already listening and thinking, yep, I recognise these themes. Yes, that keeps happening. Maybe it's even happened since you went into spiritual awakening. That's common too. But it's the stuff becomes activated from the root chakra. It starts drawing into your field. It starts creating problems. That's where all of this comes from. Now, if you can clear these ancestral patterns and you can balance your root chakra effectively in a way that really works, you can integrate the wisdom of your ancestors. You can draw the energetic wisdom without playing out all those unhealthy patterns, and you can connect to their spiritual energies. You can connect to their energies and their wisdom, and you can do that. You can draw upon their strength, you can draw upon their resourcefulness, their spirit, their will to live no matter what the circumstances are, and it can shift everything. It really can. So feeling safe, secure and supported in this world, it really isn't a mystery. even if it's been your entire life's experience so far. I see that all the time. It's like a blueprint for people in their life experience. It's constant struggle, constantly building to something and then falling back and starting all over again. It's very, very common with light workers. But what you can do, you can certainly shift it, and in fact it can become a long-term experience. It can be something that can be your life's normal state of energy, that calm, secure, stable energy. And that only comes from balancing and grounding your root chakra effectively in a way that really works. And that's the key, because not all the different ways work, and we're going to talk about that too, so that you know what doesn't work and what will work for you. So let's get into a bit more information. Let's talk about what the root chakra actually is and why it is the key to alignment for all of your chakras. So it's the first chakra in the body. It's positioned at the base of the spine. It's the very first chakra, and it corresponds to our core needs, our survival, and it's the foundation of our body's most fundamental energy center. Like I said before, if that chakra goes out of alignment, it can throw everything else off just a little bit, and it can cause confusion in understanding where the problem really lies within your energy. Now, a healthy root chakra is going to support mental and physical health, and it allows us to really feel secure and safe in our surroundings and on our life's path. This is where you feel sure-footed. This is where you feel like you understand life is unfolding for you and everything's okay. When we're in that energy, we feel grounded, we feel steady, we feel confident, we feel strong in the world when it's activated and balanced. And it is such a vital energetic foundation, because like I said, if it becomes imbalanced, other energy imbalances are going to show up within your energy too. Now, if you tend to feel anxious, stressed, unsafe especially, or unsupported in the world, you've got an imbalanced root chakra in some form. It's not so important whether it's overactive, underactive, blocked. There's an imbalance there. That's all you need to know, and we can take it from there ultimately. But remember, like I said before, the root chakra also carries the trauma of all of our ancestors. So if you really think about what that means, it means that everyone faces obstacles or challenges and problems around the base chakra because we all carry that ancestral pain. Now that means painful histories of war, starvation, natural disasters, times of hardship. It's all about struggling to survive. And these ancestral traumas are going to generate behavioural and survival patterns that are going to play out in our own lives. And worse than that, they get passed down generation to generation. This energy gets passed on. This is how you got it. It gets passed on time after time, unless we choose to break that cycle for good. And that's what we're doing today in this masterclass. It's about really breaking free of that continual pattern and setting the energy for your own life and for the lives that are coming after you in your genetic line. Now, when the root chakra is properly grounded, when it's balanced, it has this life-stabilizing effect. It's not only about peace, alignment, contentment, but it really creates these energetic foundations that are solid. It really readies us to become a vessel for that higher vibrational energy that the universe is only going to bring through when it knows that you are capable of holding it. That's why the root chakra is so important. The universe needs to know you are stable, you are strong, and you are centered. And that really comes from that energetic space of the root chakra. If you get that right, everything else will follow. Just like those other chakras can come out of alignment, you get the root chakra in alignment, everything else will align. It really makes a big difference. So you're probably wondering, is it something that's going on for you? Well, this, like I said, it is the secret to feeling safe, secure, and supported in the world. But you may never have experienced that before. And of course, you may not know what to actually look for in those signs and symptoms that can show up. Now, if it's blocked, imbalanced, like I said, it doesn't really matter what the problem is that's imbalancing it. It could be overactive, it could be underactive, it could be congested or blocked. It doesn't really matter too much what that is. You just need to know, is it happening to you now, so that we can take the next step. Okay. So the problem is that when you have these root chakra issues, it can make maintaining any sort of lasting peace or contentment challenging at best, and sometimes even just meeting your basic needs for survival. It can make it almost feel impossible. But don't worry, because we're going to talk it through and we're going to look at these signs and we'll take it from there. If you can just have a listen to these signs and see if there's something that you resonate with, will know and will be able to make changes just in a few minutes. So here are some of the signs of an imbalanced or a blocked root chakra that you want to be looking out for. Sign 1 is hoarding of material items or struggling to let things go. Maybe you kind of keep everything. Maybe you don't really like to throw things out. You could be consumed with money worries. That's a really common one for all of us, especially in the way things are globally right now, or being too focused on obtaining material items. So maybe you notice that there's always something else to get, there's always something else to obtain. You'll have an inability to trust the earth to support you or to nourish you, or maybe it always seems to let you down. No matter what happens, it's like, oh, here we go again. It's an energetic pattern. It's not reality. It's a pattern that creates the experience in your life. Fourth sign is the lack of ambition or motivation. Maybe you feel like, what's the point? I don't know what I want to do because I just can't find the drive to go and do it. You might feel insecure and unsafe in the world. Feeling unsafe in the world is a huge sign of a root chakra challenge. You'll have continual patterns of struggle, of hardship, loss, or having to start over again. So you build things up and it seems like you might be finally getting somewhere and it all just falls back. And you're starting from, step 1 again. You'll have anxiety and fear about survival or being provided for going forward. You might have pessimism and a loss of hope, an existential crisis or a crisis of faith. So really feeling like, there's nothing up there. There's nothing helping me. There's nothing looking after me. And of course, feeling like nothing ever works out or feeling like something is actively working against you. These are all signs that the root chakra is having a problem. And if you resonate with any of the signs that we mentioned, if you had an emotional response, some people hear these, they get a little bit teary or they start to feel shifts in their energy. It's a sign that you really desperately have a blocked or imbalanced root chakra. And of course, you might just listen to these and not necessarily have a reaction, but you just know, or you have a hunch, it's like, yeah, I think there's probably an area there that needs to be addressed. And that's always positive too, taking those steps before anything can manifest negatively. The other thing I would say, especially when you're listening to these signs, is to take an honest look at your life and see if you really feel that you've got the type of stability and security that you really need to be able to follow your higher vibrational path. Because if you don't have that, this is when you can step in and start working on the root chakra. It doesn't have to get to the level where you've got, really intense and challenging signs or symptoms. You can choose to step into that energy and make a change now. And of course, like I said, if that is the case, don't worry, we've got you in this masterclass. You're going to know everything that you need to know. But that brings us on to talking about the benefits, the life stabilizing benefits of a balanced root chakra. Now, like I said before, when the root chakra is out of balance, it's going to lead to things like an aversion to conflict, a fear of your basic needs not being met or supplied, a scarcity mindset, which will become your point of attraction. And that's the biggest problem with root chakra imbalance. It becomes your point of attraction. It draws the negative things that you don't want into your space, and it keeps you stuck in those patterns so that you really can't move forward. You can't manifest their positive counterparts and opposites in your life at all. Now, it's not commonly known, but balancing and grounding the base chakra, the one that's responsible for our earthly life, can create that really secure foundation to build everything else on it. You can build the spiritual on top of that foundation because, again, like I said, the universe knows that you are grounded, that you are centered, that you are a suitable vessel to pour that positive energy through. You can radiate that and you can hold that high vibration. You need to let the universe know that you can do that. But let's talk about some of those life stabilizing benefits that you can get when you ground your root chakra effectively. So things like feeling safe, feeling like you belong. And that's one we don't get very often as light workers. Feeling sure-footed on your life's path. Feeling like you know what to do, you feel confident in the steps that you're going to take, feeling stable and steady, feeling grounded but still connected. People think these are two different things, the spiritual and the physical. They're not, they're the same thing. Moving out of that 3D survival mode and into the 5D higher vibrational living. 5D and above, you might be going higher than that now. Feeling secure in your physical surroundings, really feeling at ease in those surroundings, trusting the universe to support and provide for you, and being able to integrate the wisdom of your ancestors. That's what makes this so special. It's not really a problem chakra if you know what to do to resolve it. It's about being able to gain that wisdom let go of the pain and just take the knowledge and the wisdom, take it forward for yourself and for future generations. You can expect a considerable shift of energy in your life when you really focus on grounding and rooting that base chakra. Some people experience a kind of tingling sensation or warmth in the palms of the hands, in the soles of the feet, and even at the base of the spine when you're working with root chakra healing. So whether you pick that up on that or whether you don't, everyone's a little bit different, but you can guarantee that you're going to get really positive shifts in your life. So get ready for the shifts, get ready for the change, because this is where it all starts, is the root chakra. So of course you must want to know, what are the steps we can take to balance that root chakra, to feel safe, secure and supported in the world? Well, we're just about to get right into that, and we'll take you through that. Now, it is a challenge, like I said, for light workers, because if you can't stabilise that root chakra and stabilise your life experience, you're going to find that life's just too chaotic and too unstable, too dramatic to be able to reach your higher purpose. And that's going to make life feel overwhelming. It's going to make any sort of peace or stability feel almost impossible to actually obtain. But don't worry, because we're going to talk through the steps that you can take to really get to that place, really get to that healthy root chakra place. So let's talk it through. Now, step one is you need to clear ancestral trauma. Now, while balancing the root chakra is actually relatively easy to do if you know what you're doing, if you know what it needs and what you need to do to balance it, it's not going to happen through crystals, essential oils, standard meditation or willpower alone. Please hear me on this, because I work with a lot of people who come to sessions. They are very powerful light workers. They have wonderful ascended wisdom. They're really in a good place spiritually, but their life's just too chaotic and unstable to be able to do any of their higher purpose, because it's too messy. It's just completely unstable. There's no structure to life. So it's very important for us to clear this, but it's the same thing. This is what I mean. People are using crystals, they're using essential oils, and what tends to happen is that they feel grounded for the day, they feel grounded for a few hours, maybe even a few days, but it always reverts back to the old pattern. And the reason is because we have this ancestral trauma. Everyone carries that in the root chakra, and that means that all those painful histories, all that painful trauma of your ancestors and everything they went through is still held within your energy field, and that is attracting. It's being sent out into the universe, and it's bringing like vibrations back to you. So this is where you can really start to look at your family history, of which you might not even know a lot about, and see how it's creating these patterns in your life. How do I know this? Well, I know it because I'm Scottish and because, like so many other cultures, we have a lot of this in our history too. And that's why I know what works, because I had to do a lot of clearing around that to really centre things down and get all that negative energy out of the space. And we want to do that for you too. So you really need to actively clear the ancestral trauma. Otherwise, it's going to keep drawing that negativity into your field until you do. It's going to block you from reaching your higher purpose. And nothing that you really do to unblock it, to clear it, to balance it is going to last. It's always going to fall back because the trauma is still in the energetic field. You need to get the trauma out of there, and then it makes it much easier. Which brings us to step 2. And this is another really important step. If you don't get this and you don't do them in order, it's not going to work the same way. So you want to replace the energy with the positive counterpart. Now, clearing ancestral trauma from your root chakra and of course your energy field will go a long, long way towards really helping your root chakra to remain calm and grounded going forward. But you might just think, oh, that's the job well done, that's me finished, okay, we're done. But not yet, not yet. See, you need to remove the ancestral trauma so that there's no negative pull in your field. That's the first thing. You want that out of your field so that there's nothing actively drawing the negativity into your space and into your life experience. But it still won't shift or ultimately change anything in your life. Nothing is going to get any better just from that alone. And that might surprise you. There's a reason why. It's because there's no positive opposite to replace the trauma and all the negativity that was removed. So you need to bring in the positive so that you can send out the positive and then draw these things into your field. It's like you have to replace the negative that was attracting, that was your point of attraction in the field. You need to remove it. put something positive in its place, so that it's not just removing it and everything's kind of neutral, but nothing's really happening. You want to remove it and then replace it with something positive, so that you can draw that security, that stability, that support into your life, because you can't draw that into your field if you've never experienced that. If your ancestors have never experienced that, there's no receptors in the field. There's nothing to send out to get the light vibration back. So it's almost like we need to teach your energies what these things feel like. We need to teach your energies what that is, bring it into the energy field, and then you change your point of attraction. It's very simple, but it's incredibly powerful. It really, really is. You need to adjust the blueprint that was there. You need to update it to this higher vibrational pattern. Now, not only is that going to activate your energetic receptors so that you draw the positive experiences into your own life now, but it is going to ensure peace and stability lasts long term, both for you and for the future generations. So you're changing the ancestral blueprint, you're upgrading it energetically, and you're allowing it to move forward. It's very, very powerful stuff, and it's totally awesome being able to do this work. Step 3, and of course they have to be done in order, it's very important. Step 3 is you use energy healing to balance and ground the root chakra. Now, with all those different changes in place, we can successfully balance and ground the root chakra, bringing it back into alignment, bringing it back to that glowing ruby red that it should be. It should always be a beautiful shade of red, the root chakra. And we do that with energy healing. Now, if we had attempted to do that before we had cleared the ancestral trauma and replace it with the positive energy healing downloads of security, safety and stability, it might have worked in the short term and then reverted back to imbalanced, but most often it doesn't hold at all. So you end up in that perpetual cycle of constantly having to reground the root chakra, and life just feels like chaos all around you. So do the clearing, replace the negative with the positive, and then balance the root chakra for the long term, and you're done. That's it. It's just 3 steps, but they must be done in order, and they must all be completed to ensure that this works effectively and long term. Grounding your root chakra with those 3 simple steps, it's going to save you time, it's going to save you effort, and of course exasperation, because it's super exasperating going round and round in cycles, dealing with all that stuff over and over again, and constantly trying to rebalance your root chakra. With this, if you use energy healing, you can set it, forget it, it's all done for you, and it's always holding that energetic pattern in the background. It makes a really big difference. Okay, so let's have a little recap of what we've learned today, because we've covered a lot actually. The secret key to feeling safe, secure and supported in this world is a balanced and grounded root chakra. We talked about how, unfortunately, spiritually awakened souls like us, we've got trouble balancing that root chakra because of the ancestral trauma, and we know that that brings those energy patterns of scarcity, lack, struggle and hardship. We talked about 10 signs of a desperately imbalanced root chakra, which was hoarding and consumed with money worries, inability to trust in the earth to support and nourish you, a lack of ambition or motivation, feeling insecure and unsafe in the world, continual patterns of struggle, hardship, loss or having to start over all over again, anxiety and fear about survival or being provided for, pessimism and loss of hope, an existential crisis or a crisis of faith. Of course, also, nothing ever works out, that's how it feels, and feeling like something is working against you despite your best efforts. And then we talked about the 5 life-stabilising benefits of a balanced and grounded root chakra, because it really can shift things very, very quickly in your life. And the benefits are feeling safe, feeling that you belong, feeling sure-footed on your life's path, feeling stable and steady, grounded yet connected, moving out of that 3D survival mode and into 5D higher vibrational living, feeling secure in your physical surroundings, trusting in the universe to support and provide for you, and being able to integrate the higher wisdom of your ancestors without taking on all the negativity that may contain. And then we talked about the 3 steps, super simple. Clear the ancestral trauma, replace the energy with its positive counterpart, and use energy healing to balance and ground the root chakra. It must be done in that order and must be completed, each single one. Now the good news is you don't need to go to energy healers, you don't need to train, you don't need expensive repeated sessions. If you are ready to get started on balancing and grounding your root chakra right now, then you can check out our brand new energy healing meditation. It's called the Root Chakra Stabilization, and it's specifically created to help you to balance your root chakra, release ancestral survival patterns, and stabilise your life experience to feel safe, secure, and provided for in the world. Now, you can get started in as little as 10 minutes time. You won't find an energy healing product like this anywhere else. Our meditations are a special hybrid blend of meditation and energy healing and activations. So it's the equivalent of a specifically tailored one-to-one energy healing session with me, because I work with guides who are specifically connected to us and working with us on our spiritual awakening pathway. They will make the healing and adjustments required to really support you on that path, and they will go to work on your behalf whenever you watch. Whether it's now, whether it's 2 years from now, whenever you watch, they'll start working with you, and it's specifically tailored to you and your energy. That's what makes it so different. Of course, you can use the meditation again and again to continue healing deeper layers as you work through it from the comfort of your own home and at your own pace too. So the meditation is going to do quite a few key things. These are really big activations we've got. So first of all, of course, it's going to balance and ground your root chakra long term. This is where we set it for long term. You're going to clear ancestral trauma and survival patterns. Feel safe and supported in the world. We're bringing those downloads in again so that you can send the energy out and draw it back into your space. We're going to change the ancestral blueprint for life stability. Now that is yours, and it's for generations to come too. It's changing that energy blueprint, and we're going to create secure earthly energetic foundations to become a vessel for higher vibrational frequencies. So really allowing you to step into that higher purpose. And of course, it will help alignment in every aspect of your energy and all your chakras too. It's really pretty cool. So take a little look below and see if it resonates with you.